Hello, my name is Lonzo and I will be presenting about systems at Faith Christian Academy, a private Christian school in Orlando, Florida. We are a K through 12 college preparatory school that has about 695 students with 75 employees. Our mission statement is that we're dedicated to training students to study, activity, and have learning that is Christ-centered. We also want to make sure, based on our vision statement, that our tuition is affordable, that we partner with families to raise children to be followers of Jesus, that we are competitive in our academics and our athletics. And our core values are that we develop a biblical worldview, that we create a school culture that shares God's love with the community, that we disciple and foster Christian leaders, and that we display integrity and Christ-like character in everything that we do. Why are we doing this analysis? Because it's time for our 5-year reaccreditation. We want to ensure that we're meeting the standards assigned by our accrediting team 5 years ago. We have to review our foundational documents. Are we sharing our mission the way we want to? Are we achieving the mission, meeting its goals, and striving towards their vision? And then also, we have had teacher surveys, student surveys, and parent surveys. We want to analyze those and see, are we communicating effectively to our families, to our teachers, and to our students? And we need the feedback to be able to move forward. All right, getting started with personal systems at FCA. There are really 5 total systems, but we're talking about the 5th discipline book by Peter Senge, where we focus on a shared vision. We focus on systems thinking. We also want to look at the mental models and team learning. Okay, these are all disciplines that we've been learning about in this course. Systems thinking. The definition is that systems thinking is a conceptual framework of a body of knowledge and tools that have been developed over the past 50 years to make the full patterns clearer and to help us see how to change them effectively. When we're thinking about systems at Faith Christian Academy, our administration team, we have a strategic plan, and every one of our actions reflect dynamic complexity. The decisions we make about teachers affect all the stakeholders in the organization. The faculty, they deal with feedback on a multiple levels. The feedback they are given from their principals, it affects classroom learning. The feedback they give their students affect the student-teacher relationship and also motivates learning. The students engage with their teachers, and how they develop in the classroom affects their interaction at home with their parents, but also their interaction with their peers. We have students competing at a very high level for their GPA to be valedictorian. Every decision they make in the classroom has an impact on the overall picture of their grade. Student learning is also impacting the parents' perspective of the effectiveness in the classroom. If teachers are not posting their grades on time, the parents get frustrated because they cannot support the teacher at home. They have to take the side of the student, which really isn't the best idea because they're getting only one side of the story. But if the teacher isn't posting, if the student's not doing the classwork, that creates hostility amongst the staff and the parents. Personal mastery is the next discipline, which continually clarifies and deepens our personal vision, focusing our energies and developing patience and of seeing reality objectively. At Faith Christian Academy, the administration team has conducted evaluation surveys on themselves by the staff because we want to get a better understanding of our leadership. This offers opportunities for professional development, and we create plans based on those results. Likewise, the faculty will participate with teacher evaluations that they'll have the students conduct on them to get insight on their effectiveness in the classroom, and it gives them opportunity to develop their personal professional development plans as well. The results are viewed by the principals, and we work together to create action plans for the teachers. Students are seen using personal mastery by using the MAPS adaptive assessments. These scores offer an RIT score, which compares their score to the Florida state standards, the Florida exit exams, and also the opportunities for students to see where they compare amongst the brightest students in the state of Florida public schools. Parents are able to use personal mastery because the school, we actually offer opportunities for parents to grow as parents, as individuals, professionally, through workshops at the church and the school. Mental models is another discipline that we focused on, and it's the deeply ingrained assumptions, generalizations, or even pictures or images that influence how we understand the world and how we take actions. The administration is made up of a leadership team of many backgrounds. We've got ethnic diversity with African American and Caucasian. We've also got background diversities. Our head administrator is actually from a school that was focused in Lebanon. He also was in Connecticut. Myself, I'm from California at a very liberal school, and our elementary principal is right here from Florida. The faculty is also from a group that's spread across the country. Their backgrounds range from private to public school, Catholic to Christian organizations. Their education has also been very varied in what they've received. Our families are from many ethnical diversity backgrounds, racial backgrounds, socioeconomic backgrounds. Their interactions with students have been developed from a multitude of cultural and personal experiences. We do have a shared vision at FCA. It involves the skills of unearthing shared visions of the future that foster genuine commitment and enrollment rather than compliance. Shared vision answers the question, what do we want to create? And as an administration, we work with the teachers, the students, and the parents to provide a college preparatory Christian education. There are some areas we need to grow in this area, which we'll talk about later, but the faculty works together with the administration to integrate Christ-centered curriculum for students. We work closely with the faculty to develop our vision, and students reap the benefits of the FCA shared vision by receiving opportunities to attend colleges and universities of their choice. Students also participate in the shared vision by committing to working towards excellence in the classroom. That is actually part of the agreement they sign when they attend FCA, is that they will always strive for excellence in the classroom and outside of the classroom. Parents enroll in the shared vision by first investing in their students' future and allowing them to attend Faith Christian Academy. Parents also share in the vision through their support. And when there are questions, we do follow the Matthew principle of communicating with the teacher, communicating with the student personally, and communicating with the administration so that we can decide the best course of action for the success of the child. Team learning is defined by the process of aligning and developing the capacity of a team to create the results its members truly desire. It builds on the discipline of developing. We want to develop students on a daily basis. Every day, our goal is that every student will learn. Team learning at FCA looks like the administration, when they're working together to develop a strategic plan. We have administration meetings on a weekly basis, twice a week actually, because we build as a team. We also take what we do in our team, administration team leading, administers meeting, and we take that data, we develop criteria for our teachers to learn together as well. Teachers analyze the data they receive from their surveys to develop their professional development goals and action plans. They work together in action research groups on big rock items that we need to work on to improve our organization. Students dialogue together as students to collaborate through their learning, to focus and engage one another without excluding each other's thoughts. We allow for that open communication to happen in the classroom so that students can work as a team. And then parents also participate by joining with our parent partnership meetings, by joining our parent advisory boards, and by offering insight on our surveys. So as a summary, there are many signs of personal systems at FCA. The interrelationships between the administration, teachers, parents, and students create several layers of dynamic complexities that require contributed effort by all stakeholders. By engaging in personal mastery, stakeholders can thrive in the shared vision they experience during team learning. The mental models help to offer motivation for needed dialogue about the strategic plan of the organization. And systems thinking identifies how everything interrelates and helps to maintain a focus for FCA mission and vision statements. Institutional theory is a theoretical framework for analyzing social, particularly organizational phenomena, which views the social world as significantly comprised of institutions. Institutional theory also attends to the deeper and more resilient aspects of social structure. It considers the process by which structures, including schema, rules, norms, and routines, become established as authoritative guidelines for social behavior. We've got to focus on what an institution is. And this consists of cognitive, normative, and regulative structures, looking at governments, colleges, universities, military, medical, basically anything that has a structure around it or follows routines, follows processes. They operate in multiple different levels. They're dynamic in their complexity. Those are institutions. More on this, there are three pillars of an institution: regulative, normative, and cognitive. The regulative plays a stabilizing role by prescribing actions through formal and informal rules. Normative emphasizes values and norms about how educators should pursue values, ends through their legitimate means. And then cognitive, it shapes the filter through which people view reality and gives meaning to them as they interpret the world. How does this play out at Faith Christian Academy? Faith Christian Academy uses the model of successful private schools to establish protocols. There are many different private schools in the Orlando area, and when they established Faith Christian Academy 40 years ago, they did look at some of the stronger or ones that have been around a while. Well, recently we have been looking more at best practices and taking in some of their practices to use at our facility. The three pillars of institution can also offer a framework that will help us with the decision-making process. We see what are other schools doing when they decide. How do they put surveys out there amongst the staff and amongst the teachers and the students, other class structures. How do schools design their educational system? How do they design their honors program, their non-honors program, AP courses? What curriculum are the schools using? Do we want to use private school curriculum, Bob Jones University books, or do we want to use the public school curriculum that are going to comply with the Florida state standards? Are we going to have the same core curriculum as the public schools? Will that make us as competitive or less competitive than some of these schools? Does the curriculum that we use, does it line up with our core values and our mission statement? Does our mission statement give us enough of a uniqueness that other schools in the area can't offer? These are all questions that we ask and must be answered within the context of institutional theory. The institutional theory provides the framework that has established our system of governance at FCA. Best practices are researched and implemented to ensure we offer a high quality education. And now we look at the STAR model. The definition of the STAR model is using the STAR model gives a holistic way of thinking about an organization as consisting of structure, information, decision processes, reward system, and people. The strategy, the company's action plan for success based on the goals and objectives developed by the leadership. FCA has outlined a strategic plan that focuses on spiritual, student safety, stakeholder engagement, technology integration, finances, and faculty development. Those are the components of the strategy that we focus on, which the STAR model helps us by helping us to guide us, through our strategic plan. The structure of the organization determines the placement of power and authority of the organization. The structure of Faith Christian Academy most closely resembles a functional organization, however, is in need of a clearly defined role. The head administrator serves as the highest authoritative figure at the school, followed by an elementary principal and a secondary principal, having an equal playing field. Each principal has roughly 18 teachers that report directly to them, And they stretch across multiple grade levels. Obviously, elementary is K through 5, secondary is 6 through 12, each one comprising of about 350 students roughly. The elementary teachers also have aides that report to the teachers in the classroom. The processes, the information and decision processes cut across the organization structure. If structure is thought of as an anatomy of the organization, processes are the physiology of the function. FCA uses data to direct classroom learning. We do our standardized tests. We take from these tests and we apply that to the curriculum development. We apply that to the teacher professional development. We apply that to remediation for students. Rewards. The purpose of the reward system is to align the goals of the employees with the goals of the organization. Really the FCA reward system is nothing to brag about. We offer a base salary, hourly wages to the staff workers, but there's no extra compensation. We do offer rewards if somebody substitutes for somebody else, but there's nothing more besides that. And then people, how do we govern the human resources that we have? FCA, we hire for fit and we train for skill. We modified this to our employees and prepare them for service at a small private school. Then we look at the 4 management functions of the systems and how they correlate with each other. What are the 4 functions? We have planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. And how do the 4 functions of management apply to Faith Christian Academy? Well, at the basic level, we use the 4 functions by developing a yearly and multi-year strategic plan to move the organization to growth and efficiency. Our management structure is broken down into departments that develop attainable goals for their teams. We have our secondary principal who has department heads, who each department has 2 to 3 teachers in their department. And within those departments, they work on action items. The leadership meets on a regular basis with the staff to offer motivation and feedback. A lot of times this motivation is verbal at best. And our administration team meets twice a week to gain understanding about the maintenance of the strategic project progress and to get an update on the status. Planning is when the direction of the organization is established through a variety of activities, including the development of goals. As such, the planning function of management embodies various levels of decision making. At FCA, we have weekly administration and department meetings. At the leadership team of FCA, we developed a strategic plan to meet the needs of stakeholders at FCA. This focuses on the spiritual growth of our school. We focus on the student safety, on technology integration and how we deal with finances, on the professional development of our faculty and our school program. This ties into our faculty and how they plan as well. The faculty, they are provided the academic framework, which looks like a year-long, scope and sequence of their academic coursework, and they're tasked with developing and maintaining their daily, yearly plan, their lesson plans that they're going to teach. Lesson plans are created off the yearly plan. They are a lot more detailed with the unit structure to it and the daily instruction. The lesson plans, they should reflect their content, their assessments, and other important components, for example, differentiation. Students and their parents meet with an academic advisor, and in this meeting is when they develop their goals for college, where they want to go to school, how they're going to get there, what kind of colleges they're most likely to get accepted to, and what courses they need to take to be accepted into the schools that they really want to. The leading is a multi-dimensional process that includes motivation and influence of employees. How this is applied to Faith Christian Academy is the leadership at FCA engages employees personally to establish loyalty and trust among the staff. When we have meetings, they are not just about when things are bad. We do a lot of meetings with teachers that are opportunities for us to hear about their victories in the classroom, the praise reports they're dealing with. When they have students that weren't necessarily doing well, now they're doing better. But we also have to deal with some of the tougher situations. So when we do deal with those tougher situations, we already have that rapport, and there's that natural motivation to work efficiently. Teachers are leaders in the classroom and engaging students with the challenges of academia. Students are motivated to succeed by teacher interaction in the hope of a bright future. They are also motivated by their willingness of their instructor to assist after class. We have actually all of our teachers stay after class several days a week to work with students. That gives students an understanding that the teachers do care. The teachers do want to see the students succeed. They're not just about a grade, but the teachers understand that the students matter. This helps the students understand, but it also gives the teachers an opportunity to grow personally. But teachers also have an opportunity to lead their action research teams when they look to develop opportunities on campus. Leadership is evident amongst the students because we have student council, we have National Junior Honor Society program, National Honor Society, where they can develop fun activities for the whole student department or whole student union to participate in. These are fun ways for students to become motivated to just stay engaged in the social dynamic of high school. And then students and parents have a unique relationships because parents have the difficulty of needing to motivate their students on a daily basis at home without creating a hostile environment or an unfriendly environment at home. Organizing is comprised of numerous activities directly or indirectly related to the allocation of resources in which that support the achievement of goals, plans that were developed in the planning function. How this is applied to FCA is the administration team breaks down the focus of the strategic plan into smaller subsections. So we have objectives, we have goals, and we assign these to different action research teams over the next 5 years. These action research teams are made up of faculty members, and they investigate and work on their assigned objectives. Each team has a leader that reports directly to the principal once a month. The Parent Advisory Council is also another group that is organized, and they have been there or been created to establish insight for the administration team. But it's a group of parents as stakeholders and teachers and administrators that are comprised of the Parent Advisory Council. They cover objectives and the strategic plan, and the council consists of, like I said, different components of the school. But we also have a parent a parent, teacher, and administration fellowship that meets once a quarter to give parents a kind of a town hall opportunity to discuss things with the administration. Groups of students have been organized in leadership teams, like I mentioned before, like the NHS and the Student Council, to give students an opportunity to offer feedback, but also gives them objectives directly relating to student engagement. And then lastly, you have controlling in this section. Control includes managerial efforts directed towards monitoring both organizational and employee performance and progress towards goals. Controlling applied to Faith Christian Academy is the administration applies controlling by creating a culture of feedback. Administration observes and evaluates teachers throughout the year. They're followed up by feedback sessions, and administration evaluates or is also evaluated by the teachers, students, and the parents. Teachers apply controlling by assessing student learning using multiple techniques. Students are also assessed using adaptive standardized tests to establish learning goals for remediation. The standardized test gives us opportunities to also look at the gifted curriculum enhancement for students that are doing well. Students and their families are able to self-assess because we have a program called RenWeb, which gives students an opportunity to manage their own grades. However, this must be the data must be properly be input by the teachers for this to work effectively. And at times it's not. That's an area that we need to grow in. But just a quick conclusion is that the planning, leading, and organizing and controlling have been unintentionally implemented naturally into the culture of FCA. It's a private school, and we have taken tips and strategies from other organizations to help us, but our current strategic plan is at the forefront of all of our activities. There are multiple levels of leadership observed throughout the structure of the school that offer empowerment and support for the teachers, support for the staff, and support for the students. And then the summary of the effectiveness and recommendations of the planning, leading, observing, and controlling is the planning structure of FCA is effective. However, there's room for improvement. The 3-person administration team really needs to, they focus on the prime objectives, but decentralizing the decision-making process will enhance the collaboration of the organization, including other staff members in the strategic process will offer value to the employees and can create higher levels of support. Outlining a more detailed layer of the organizing function will offer guidance to develop the controlling function for FCA. Distributing power amongst the staff and offering tiered levels of leadership will serve to aid the administration as well. And in conclusion of this, the summary of the analysis, Faith Christian Academy has adequate use of the STAR model, personal systems, and institutional theory. The STAR model lends guidance for strategy, structure, processes, people, and rewards to the organization. Each of the components of the STAR model are evident in ways that provide a holistic view of the organization. Personal systems also allow the organization to interconnect the dynamic functions that are too complex to connect otherwise. And then just a quick area of improvement is taking an intentional approach to implementing the personal systems, and the STAR model will bring together departments that feel disconnected from the primary mission. Reinventing the vision of FCA will assist in adding a shared vision amongst the staff and can drive a culture of team learning with the department. If FCA can create a consistent forum for feedback, personal mastery will become a core value of the organization. Here are my references. There are actually 2 pages of them. I will also be attaching this PowerPoint as an attachment so you can view this more in depth without the speed of the presentation. Here's the last page of references. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope that this was informative for you.